people only do big changes when it costs them in a big way. I found that I only made serious changes in my business, even things that I knew to do. I did not make them until I invested at a higher level, because once my money was like involved, it was like, oh snap. Well, I already spent the money. I basically have no choice but to change. Welcome. Today, I just want to chat about why I personally changed my mind on low ticket pricing when it comes to how you price yourself. So for those of you who are new to me, I'm an online business coach. I help women package their expertise into high income coaching businesses online that don't burn them out. So I'm very much about systems and strategies and earning more while working less. The reason why I changed my mind has everything to do with coaching. And so that's the thing. If you don't constantly have someone in your corner who is where you want to be and is succeeding in the way you want to succeed, you might come to conclusions that aren't actually correct or do things the difficult way. I did not have a group coaching program coach, right? I wasn't working with anybody to teach me how to structure that. I wasn't working with a high ticket sales coach. Fast forward, I started working with a coach and just really getting clear on what I wanted to do, what I wanted my business model to look like, and more importantly, how I wanted to feel in my business, the different things that I wanted to do. And so very reluctantly, because my coach was like, dude, you need to do this. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, no, very reluctantly said that I would, soft launch a high ticket group coaching program just to see what was out there. I was very nervous because, I didn't want the experience that I had previously the first time I did it, again, thinking that I was going to attract high maintenance clients. But once I had someone in my corner who knew what they were doing and could guide me on specifically how to put it together properly, the experience has been amazing. So really, it's kind of like part two, because I launched this high ticket program right before I had my daughter, and my daughter's only 4 months. I had her in January, and it's just been amazing. It's been the best clients. They do the work. They don't stress me out. It hasn't been a headache at all. It's been super seamless. And I find that I'm able to really give them more and really invest in them more because they've invested in themselves at a higher level through me. So what I realize is that people only change when it costs them, myself included, right? We're all the same way. People only change when it costs them. And this is kind of funny. It's not related, but somewhat related. So I actually have a second brand and a second YouTube channel that I do in partnership with my biz bestie, Danielle Morel from Rich Girl Business. And we are doing a whole brand all on how to level up as women, how to level up in, your relationships or your marriage, how to level up in your business, level up in your income, etc. And so there's all this talk about high value man. There's a very well-known relationship coach who shall not be named who likes to spout this terminology out. And there's all this discussion about do high value men cheat? And I promise, this is related and I'm getting to it. But so I was talking with Danielle about this because we were planning out different episodes that we wanted to do. And we were talking about how it really has nothing to do with whether you're high value or not. Like some men cheat and some men don't cheat. And there are reasons and character issues that have to do with that. But what I found that was pretty interesting is those who choose not to cheat don't cheat in part because they know it costs them too much. Either they've cheated in the past and it costs them everything. It costs them their family. It costs them their children. It was very expensive. It was just a complete headache. Or, they just value themselves enough and they know what they bring to the table that they're like, I'm not even going to go down that route because it costs me too much. And people only do big changes when it costs them in a big way. I found that I only made serious changes in my business, even things that I knew to do. I did not make them until I invested at a higher level, because once my money was involved, it was like, oh snap. Well, I already spent the money. I basically have no choice but to change. And so it kind of reminds me of that Bible verse, where your treasure is, your heart is there also. I had a digital program go viral in 2016 that was called the 21-Day Self-Discipline Challenge. And at the time I was selling it for $21. And the crazy thing was I was selling this thing like gangbusters because it was only $21. Literally, I had thousands of women purchase and go through this program. But something really strange started to happen. I would host events, locally, or I would speak at other people's events, and people would come up to me and they'd be like, "Oh my goodness, I purchased your thing, your self-discipline thing. I know you. You got that self-discipline program." And I'd be like, "Oh man, how'd it go for you? Tell." And they'd say like, "Oh well, I got through day 3." Or, I got through the first 5 pages, but I never actually finished it. And I was like, okay, that's not why I decided to do this. Like, I'm happy that the program was successful from a financial standpoint, and I'm happy that people got access to it, but I wasn't happy that people weren't doing the work and weren't actually seeing the transformation. If you think about your own behavior, you know that this is true, right? If you buy a low ticket $27 thing, $49 thing, whatever, you might not even open the PDF download. Like, it might be sitting somewhere in the dustbin of your, on your desktop somewhere. Once I started doing this high ticket group coaching program, literally every woman who has come through this program, like within the first 3 weeks, are just completely hitting it. I've had clients who are getting $500,000 corporate contracts, clients who are getting $50,000, with their own clients within the first few weeks, like not even within 2 months. And they've told me, they're like, part of it was just, I felt the pressure in a good way, like to come in here and to just really do the work. And it creates this positive peer pressure because everybody's coming in, everybody's doing the work. They're seeing what everybody else is doing. We're shouting other ladies out in the Facebook group, like, "Oh, such and such closed this client and such got this going." One of the best things that you can do for your clients is, charge them enough to change, essentially. So once I started to see that, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to really try to get people to get this huge result through low ticket pricing, because just psychologically, for most people, it just doesn't work that way. The second reason, and this was kind of a shock to me as well, but I was like, wow, is that people believe your pricing, not your marketing. So think about this with like luxury vehicles. Pretty much all the cars, they're all marketed the same way. Like, they show the shiny paint and they show the car winding down, the mountain top. And whether it's a Kia or it's a Maserati, they all have the same style of marketing. But then, at the end, when the announcer is like, and you can, go down to your local XYZ dealer and get this car starting at whatever pricing, it doesn't matter how good the marketing is, you automatically position that car based on the price. Your consumers are doing this as well. In fact, I read an article, it was about Peloton, and the Peloton bike, I think right now it sells for like $2,500, $2,495 or something like that. But the crazy thing is, when they first came out, they were marketing it exactly the same, but they priced it at like $1,495 or something like that. And they were getting some sales, but it wasn't a lot. And people just didn't really believe that it could possibly be this like super, fantastic premium bike. But then when they upped the price of the bike by $1,000, suddenly everybody was like, "Oh, this must be a premium bike. Let me go get it." And it took off. And so isn't that crazy? They made more sales selling it at a higher price than they did at a lower price because people didn't believe them. The marketing and the pricing was incongruent. Regardless of how you market it, regardless of how you say, "This is premium, this is the best thing ever, this is like all of that," people automatically categorize you. Like, there are price points in everybody's mind when it comes to certain products and certain industries that they expect things that are truly at a premium level to fall under on the price scale. The third thing that I realized about low ticket pricing is that low prices turn off high potential clients. And that's really true, because here's the thing. High potential clients don't invest based on price. They invest based on ROI, or return on investment. I like to use the rule of thumb of 10% of ROI, right? So, if you can get somebody, a huge result, you should be charging at least 10% of the result that you can provide them. And everything can be quantified in dollars, even if it's something like health and fitness or relationships. Just think about the pricing that your target market is already spending to try to get that result elsewhere. Like, whatever money they're already spending on that, or whatever this result is worth it to them, if you can get them that result, you should be able to charge 10% of that. Yes, when you lower your prices, you might get more people who are like, "Okay, great, I can do it." And I know a lot of beginner coaches, consultants, experts get sucked into that trap because they get on sales calls, in part because they don't know how to close on the phone, which is a whole nother thing. I have other videos that talk about, how to run a discovery call, sales scripts, all of that stuff. In fact, I have a webinar that you can check out, CourtneyLSanders.com/masterclass, which goes over my overview and talks about how to close clients on the phone and different things that you should be doing before you get them on the phone. People get into this cycle of talking to people who are like, oh, I can't afford it, or I don't want to do it. And then they start to second guess themselves and they keep lowering and lowering and lowering their prices. That goes into the fourth thing that I noticed about low ticket pricing, is that it often leads to more low ticket pricing because only commodities compete on price. I'll say that again. Only commodities compete on price. When you're competing on price, it's like that sticker on your forehead. You're essentially telling people, I'm a commodity in my industry. I'm just like everybody else. Feel free to compare what I do with what everybody else does, and feel free to choose which one of us has the best price. I mean, that's essentially, what you're doing. And the fifth thing is, you can't do your best work when you're constantly worried about money. So I know for me, again, when I was pregnant with my son and I was like, okay, I'm just, I thought it was easier if I could just do these low ticket products and just launch them and just call it a day. But the thing was, because they were low ticket, I had to then focus on doing high volume. Now, fast forward to, having my daughter, having this group coaching program, because I'm charging what the program is worth now, it allows me to be way more relaxed and to give way more, support, right? So my clients, I give them my funnel support. Like I have my own VAs helping to build their funnels because I understand that not everybody is good with technology. I'm able to do these things and really create a premium high level experience because I'm well compensated for my work. So I'm not worried about, how much money I need to make next month or what. Like I'm good. Like everything is set up. I have my systems. My revenue is on repeat. And that's the name of my high ticket program, Revenue on Repeat. I can shoot the breeze with my clients. Like we chirp, I have a messaging app where we chirp back and forth and I talk to them like all day and I don't mind it. And it's really fun. And I don't feel like, oh, why are you sending me another message? I don't have time for you because I got to go out there and hustle and make more money. You really should not be charging low ticket out the bat. Like you really need to go high ticket. You need to work with less clients for more. Get your financial base in the door, get them amazing results, get those testimonials. That's going to, make them rave about you and help you attract more clients. And then once you get things going, then you can say, you know what, I want to do something fun for my audience. I'm going to offer something at a lower ticket. So I hope this was helpful. If so, give me more likes. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and on YouTube. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.